Hey guys, good morning, good morning. Yes, I'm driving. It's time to go to work. And I wanted to check in with you all because look, we have to go over 1 Corinthians chapter 7. We have to go over 1 Corinthians chapter 7. And it is really getting deep, okay? I need y'all to understand that Paul is really calling the Corinthians out, okay? Paul is really calling the Corinthians out. Paul is like, look, I need you all to honor your relationship. He's like, look, y'all want to know how you can do wrong. Y'all want to know how you can leave your wives. You know, y'all are getting into these relationships and realizing that it's not what it's cracked up to be, and you want to leave, but you chose somebody who wasn't a Christian in the first place, right? So in all of this conversation with Paul, you know, in this letter with him, he's giving the Corinthians some really good advice about relationship. Let me turn this air down because I don't know if y'all can hear it in the background or what. It's not that hot. It's only 76 degrees this morning, so I don't need the air on right now. But I am driving, so you may hear some bumps and lumps because the streets around here, they need to be repaired. I don't know how the streets are where you live, but yeah, I call it pothole city. So anyway, Paul is really letting the people know, you know, how to move forward in their relationships, in marriages and as a single person, okay? So look, I'm a single person. I am. And, you know, sometimes people ask, am I comfortable in my singleness? And as I was studying 1 Corinthians chapter 7, you know, I was like, you know what? I am kind of comfortable in this singleness, but of course, who wouldn't want to be in a marriage, right? Who wouldn't want that? So I'm not opposed to marriage. I'm really not. And just in case you all don't know, I was married, and I am currently divorced. So I'm really not opposed to that. That situation didn't work out. And I read 1 Corinthians chapter 7 prior to the actual divorce and brought that information to my pastors at the time. And the pastors agreed that the divorce was okay at the time based on the situations and the circumstances. And I also went to my grandmother before she passed, Mother Bell, and brought my concerns to her. And she explained to me you know, that it was okay and why her and my grandfather divorced. And my grandmother did remarry. So we had granddaddy and we had pawpaw, you know, but, you know, she explained that to me too and helped me to understand that it was okay. And, you know, based off of the situation and the circumstances. And my ex-husband and I we have children. We have 4 children, so we are cordial. You know, we don't hate each other or anything like that because of things that we're not like that at all. You know, oftentimes people don't understand that because, you know, people go through messy relationships, messy breakups, messy divorces and become enemies. But we actually talked it all out before it happened. Before we went through all of the motions, or in the midst of all of the motions, I should say, we had conversation. We're like, we're adults, we have children, we want our children to be as healthy as they can be. You know, divorces tear the children up. I mean, my children had some lumps and bumps, but at the end of the day, we wanted to put our best foot forward in this because we had children. So we're like, we can't be enemies because we don't have to communicate with each other and continue to communicate with each other, you know, as our children grow up. So we're cool. We're fine. We don't have any animosity. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. This video, well, I guess it is about that a little bit, but we're diving into 1 Corinthians chapter 7. We're reading a chapter a day. We are going strong on this. We're going to talk about 1 Corinthians chapter 7. I may add to this video later. I'm on my way to work and I wanted to talk to you all about this and get this out there and post it, because we're going to go to 1 Corinthians chapter 8 this evening. Okay, after the fireworks and the drone show and parade and all of that. So it's going to be a late video, but I'm off work tomorrow, so I'll be able to sleep in. So anyway, 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Husbands, should you leave your wives? Wives, should you leave your husbands? If you get into a relationship, a marriage with someone who is not, a Christian, right? I'm going to say a Christian. Someone who is not a Christian, do we leave them? Do we stay in it? What do we do, right? If I'm single, what do we do? Do we get married? Do we stay single? What do we do? And Paul is just like, look, you need to honor your marriage, right? Honor your marriage. What does that mean? What does it mean to honor my marriage? Well, it means that husbands need to have respect in eyes for their own wives, and wives need to have respect in eyes for their own husbands, right? He also talks about our bodies and how in marriage the woman's body does not belong to her and the man's body does not belong to him. What does he mean by that? He goes on to say, don't deprive your husband, or your wife from sex, right? Like, don't, He's like, if you do decide that you all are going to refrain, it needs to be a mutual agreement and something that you all are praying about. And okay, it's not a forever thing. It's like maybe we refrain for a week, a month, a few days, whatever that is, and then you come back together, but it's a mutual agreement. And he has reasoning behind that, right? Because if you're an adult and you ever had sex, right, you understand those soul ties, those emotions, those things that come with that, and then the lust, right? Because humans were created to procreate. God said, all right, go out there and be fruitful and multiply. So it's a innate desire to want to be in relationship physically, emotionally, sexually with people. And so he knows that if you decide to restrict that in your marriage, then that people lust, right? People have desires, and you're opening that up for sin. Okay? So if you like, no, you'd have made me mad, or whatever the case may be, these burning desires are there. And, yes, we should resist the devil and he shall flee. And God always gives us a way out even when we're tempted. We know all of those scriptures. We know all of that. But we know that, you have to be really diligent in that resistance, to not give into those things. And oftentimes as humans, what do? Okay, we're not getting that fulfillment here. I'm going somewhere else to get that fulfillment, and boom, now you've broken up the marriage. You've broken the relationship. So these are things that Paul talks about. I'm at work right now. I can't finish my video. Oh my gosh, but I'll add to it and we'll continue to have this conversation. I'll see you all in the next video. Put in the comments what your thoughts are about what I've just talked about so far. Let's put that in the comments. Let's start the conversation. It will continue. Have a great day. Bye.